Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome again to another episode of the In My View podcast. And I'm your host, Pitbull. Um, I am alone this week, so I am here to share my views and just asking everyone to share, subscribe, like, and of course, drop a comment on the video. I'm asking everyone to follow the Twitter page at In My View Podcast. That's the name of the page on Twitter. I'm going to drop the link for the page so you can follow and you'll get to, ask questions, interact with me. Of course, you can comment and I'll answer to as many of the comments as I possibly can. I'm asking everyone to just share. If you are watching, I'm asking you to subscribe. All right. So this is the In My View podcast, and this week I ask a question. Well, I ask people to just ask whatever questions they want on Twitter, and I'll answer them in this week's podcast. So it's not a get to know you podcast. It's our episode. Like when you ask persons, ask questions. They ask you, you have a girlfriend or this or that. No, we're not taking any personal questions. We're just taking football related questions, right? Because this is the In My View podcast and we're strictly about the Premier League, English Premier League, and of course we talk about other things but mainly football related. So the first question that was asked, it's a DM. It says from this is Sav. So big up yourself, Sav. This says, based on the summer signings so far, who do you think those signings how do you think those signings will affect the Big Six for the upcoming season? That's the first question. And of course, signings, quality players being added to your team will have a wonderful impact on your team. And of course, if you are losing players, then it's gonna have an impact on your team. So far this season, it will shuffle up the pack a bit. It's a bit early. Transfer window is about a month and possibly 2 weeks left in the transfer window. So we have yet to see the squads that will be going in challenging for places in the Premier League. But to date, right now, I think Tottenham is having a brilliant transfer season so far. City as well. I mean, you can't look any further than the Haaland signing to say, well, this is a top signing from them. They have lost Raheem Sterling, so they're basically losing upwards of 15 goals a season, and Ireland will give you that. So I don't think they're losing much there. They signed Calvin Phillips. They're losing Fernandinho. They signed Calvin Phillips, who is a brilliant player. I really rate Calvin Phillips a lot. So City, I would say, have made the best signing so far, and then I would say Spurs behind them. So the next part of the question says, also, which signing do you think is the biggest signing for the summer? Well, right now, as it stands on today is the 7th of July. So let me just say this: that the 7th of July at the stand, Erling Haaland is the biggest signing coming into the Premier League. It's a top class talent, pretty young, have a lot of years ahead of him, and he's a world class player at the moment. But we have seen players coming from Germany, the Sancho, the Kai Havertz, the Timo Werner, that never live up to expectations. So City fans will be hoping that Haaland can live up to expectations. If he does live up to expectations, then it's gonna be a storm in the Premier League. Like, City is already a big team, already a massive, a really hard team to beat. They're relentless, and to add a player of that quality to the team, then it's definitely a wonderful addition to their team. In terms of signing, again, back to the first question, in terms of signing, I think Arsenal is doing good business as well. And from the top six, the team that is doing the worst right now, it's possibly between Chelsea and Manchester United at this point in time. And I'm going to go Manchester United is probably doing the worst in terms of we have not signed any player of real quality or confirmed any player of real quality outside of the young left back. We have lost a lot of players, so we have not filled those gaps as yet. And at the moment, we are losing Cristiano Ronaldo. So we are the worst right now. Chelsea lost Rudiger. They lost Lukaku, but they haven't really added anyone as yet. And it seems like they're adding Sterling to their team. So as it stands right now, it's probably best signing so far. I would go City, then Tottenham, then Arsenal, then Liverpool, then Chelsea, then Manchester United in terms of what is happening in the transfer window right now as at today's date. So yeah, it's a terrible time to be a Manchester United fan in this transfer window at this moment. Let me just stress that, at this moment, because we're not really active in the market. We're linked with everybody and not signing anyone apart from the young player, and of course we're linked with Ericsson and Frankie De Jong. Okay, so let's go into the next question. The next question is from Kev Roy. Kev Roy, big of himself. How do you rate the transfer window so far? Well, for Manchester United and the other teams, I just did. Manchester United is rated last of the top 6. I just did. And also, why did Manchester United finish second but couldn't challenge more this season, the past season? Well, you need a team to win trophies. That's the first thing I would say. You need a cohesive unit. You need good defenders, brilliant defenders. You need cohesive unit. That's top. When players start calling out their own players, and you can see the visual, you can vividly see the breakup in the unit, then you're not going to challenge. And no matter how brilliant you are individually, because I think individually these Manchester United players are pretty good when they play for their country. Probably also Bruno Fernandes, because I don't know what is happening with Bruno when he plays for Portugal. But individually, we are good enough, but we just need to get a cohesive unit, and that's what we're not getting. And the reports, if they are to be believed, with Cristiano Ronaldo and Harry Maguire, Harry Maguire is the captain of the club, and he probably has some players who respect him and rate him. For what reason, I don't know. And then Ronaldo comes in and doesn't rate him. The dressing room, you need a proper dressing room to win. You need a cohesive unit, you need a tight unit, you need persons who are willing to fight for each other. I don't think our players are willing to fight for each other. I see them blaming each other for things. So that is one of the number one reasons why we didn't challenge last year. And to go into the tactical reason why we didn't challenge last year, with the addition of Ronaldo, we needed to play a different style of football. That's the beginning of the season. For me, we couldn't play counter-attacking football with Ronaldo. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer probably only know one way to play football, and that's counter-attacking. So that is the first issue. And from there, we never really can challenge for the title again since Ole lost his job. So that's why we didn't challenge for the title. Team cohesiveness is not there, and the coach is pretty much not good enough. Next question. This is from Big Nose Baller. With the business Tottenham have done so far in the transfer window, how much more of a challenger for the title do you think they are? I don't give them. The coach is brilliant. I rate Conte. He's a brilliant coach, but I don't give them much of a chance. And the reason why I don't give them much of a chance is because City and Liverpool are miles ahead, and Jurgen Klopp and Pep are brilliant coaches. So in terms of saying that, oh well, Conte can give them the edge, Conte can't give them the edge over Pep or over Klopp, because I think Klopp and Pep are better coaches than Conte, and they have better quality players. Tottenham is having a brilliant transfer season. You see where they have added Perisic, Richarlison, they signed up Kulusevski, so they got a central defender Langley from Tottenham. So they are going to challenge for the top 4 definitely, and they are in the top 4 right now. So I guess they're going to possibly retain their position in the top 4. But in terms of challenging for the title, I don't see them putting up 15 wins on the bounce like Liverpool and Man City can do. So I don't give them much of a chance. But you're in the league, so you have a chance. Leicester show that you can, with slim chances, you can win. So I don't give them much of a chance. I don't think they're a challenger either. So who knows? They can prove me wrong. Next question. This is from J-Tech. So J-Tech is saying, what are your thoughts on Ronaldo's transfer requests? I think it's, if you're looking at it from a Ronaldo's point of view, you're Mr. Champions League. You are Cristiano Ronaldo. You're not supposed to be playing in the Europa League. So I can understand why he would want to leave. And from a Manchester United standpoint, I can understand why they would want to keep him in terms of the commercial business or whatever. But in terms of a footballing sense, Ronaldo doesn't rate, it seems Ronaldo doesn't rate possibly 10 players on the on the team. And if he doesn't rate them and the personality that Ronaldo has, is going to be the same problem in the team again in terms of the broken changing room, this and that, that and this. So it's best from a footballing sense to get rid of Ronaldo, who is 37, because you're building a new project. The coach talk about the academy and this and that. So he's going to use a few academy players, I think. So if you want a younger unit, you want something that is substantial for the next 3 years, you can get rid of Ronaldo and possibly bring in a player. But what Ronaldo's transfer request has done is it has put a dent in what Manchester United is trying to build. Because if they are going into the season that they had him, now that he has afforded to leave, if Manchester United go for a player that, in essence, a forward that is worth 30 million, they're going to tell them we want 45 million because they know you're desperate for a forward. Because the only forwards that we have in the club right now, Anthony Martial and Rashford is not even a centre forward. So we only have Anthony Martial, who is our centre forward. So it's not good short term for Manchester United. You're going to have to spend more money than you want to for a centre forward. But in terms of for the short term, the long term, sorry, you can get rid of him. It's pretty much over the hill in terms of what he brings, but he's still better than the Rashfords and the Martial. But long term, you can get rid of him, try to get someone else. Short term, it's not looking good. Not looking good right now. Because we're losing a quality centre forward. Ronaldo is top 5 best player that ever plays football. So it's a big loss. So those are the questions that I have time for this week. I'm gonna ask you guys to share the podcast, like the podcast, comment. If you have any questions, you can ask them and I will answer them. And also remember to subscribe. Remember to follow me on Twitter, In My View Podcast. That's the Twitter handle. I'm gonna put it in the chat so you can, click there and ask a question there. Thank you so much for watching. Share, subscribe, and like. I'm out. Have a blessed day.